Hello and welcome to This Is Not Your House, a horror game where we play as Roger, who has gone out grocery shopping only to find his locks have been changed and someone else is living in his house. And our job is to claim our house back. So we're going to see how well that goes. And if you want to claim your house back, link, as always, will be in the description below. I really hope you enjoy, and as always, thank you in advance for watching. Also, a very creepy title screen here. Probably one of the strangest ones I've ever seen. But let's get into it. Roger always knew if he were attacked, it would happen on the walk from his car to his home. So he readied his house key, before stepping out of the vehicle, keeping it ready as he walked to the trunk of his car. He hangs his groceries from his wrists, keeping his fingers free to open the front door without fumbling. Can I make the text faster? I think that was part of something, wasn't it? Text speed, yeah, let's turn that up a bit. Turn the rest up a little bit as well. That looks good. Yeah, so fumbling. As Roger makes his way to the porch, his eyes start darting between the house's corners. He'd read about a young woman being ambushed in her driveway the week before. He tries to put it out of his mind by counting how many steps it takes him to reach the front door. But he can't stop listening for the sound of someone rushing toward him. That is a very creepy concept. You know, just walking to your house and then just getting ambushed. It's a very real, natural fear, I imagine. There's a gentle breeze and the white noise of distant traffic. Roger assures himself he's right to remain vigilant. You know, it takes a split second for someone to get the drop on you. Steady with the key now. Smooth is fast. Roger's key slides in on the first try. It won't turn. Roger removes his key and inspects it. It's engraved with a large H. Definitely the correct key. Roger tries the key again. Locked? Jammed? Broken, maybe? Roger takes a step away from the door and scans the area for a suspicious person. He sees no one. He releases his grasp on the key and leaves it in the lock. He drops his grocery rags on the porch. He tries furiously to turn, pull, and push on the key and door handle every which way, without success. Roger hears something inside. Shadow passes by the window. Looks like someone's silhouette through the curtain. Okay, this is actually getting a little creepy. Roger pounds on the door. Open up this instant. The police are en route. The door unlocks from the inside. Can I help you? You can start by getting out of my house. This house does not belong to you. Man, this is unnerving. This is actually really unnerving. Check the deed, lady. A deed is only a piece of paper. Well, true, but also it's a legal binding statement of ownership. One that proves this house is my property. Personal property is a social construct. Okay, she's a weirdo. Those who inhabit a space own it. Okay, let her have the house or take your house back. I mean, we're gonna take the house back. Now, there is also some things down here that say about saves and loads and things, and it is multiple choice. So I think anytime I see this, I'm just gonna save. So we'll save. So there's an option right there. And first of all, we're gonna take our fucking house back. I have a Rosetta chicken cooling off out here. I'll be eating it in my dining room before it's room temp. The homeowner attempts to shut the door on Roger. Roger, you're looking a little creepy there yourself. Roger swiftly jams his foot between the door and its frame. He presses his face into the gap his foot provides. think you heard me. Roger shoulders the door wide open. The homeowner is knocked back into the kitchen. You forgot your chicken. Just do another save. I'll stand my ground, thank you. I'll get it when you're gone. Be sure not to leave too often, Roger. I have a habit of roosting in unattended spaces. Man, this is actually really unnerving. Roger hears a car start up right outside. He looks out the window to see what's going on. The homeowner waves from the driver's seat of his car and disappears down the road. What? It can't be. Roger whirls round. The homeowner is no longer in his kitchen. What? He proceeds to clear the house, room by room, until he's sure that she's gone. Roger spent the next few days gathering up every trace of the homeowner's presence and pass it on to the authorities. Doilies, table runners, oil drape runners, candles. It seemed like she'd lived there for years, leaving things in odd places only someone familiar with the space would. It took Roger an additional half day just to rearrange the furniture. Thankfully, she hadn't moved in her own. Then, there was nothing left for Roger to do, except his grocery shopping. He decided to have his groceries delivered by a boy from the neighbourhood for a while. Smart. He didn't want to leave the house alone. He started to feel silly about it after a few weeks passed. Police couldn't locate his missing car. He bought a junker so he could handle his errands around town. Roger didn't notice the walk from his car to his house anymore. The only thing that worried him is whether or not he could turn the key when he got home. A shadow passed by the window. Okay, that's very creepy. That's a very creepy concept, especially the second time sees a shadow pass the window. Okay, so that's ending 1 of 10. Let's load up. Let's load up this one. Let's get the chicken. Roger turns around to collect his groceries. He sees someone analogous to the homeowner devouring his Rosetta chicken. The homeowner behind Roger grabs a paring knife. The homeowner clamps a hand over Roger's mouth and shoves the blade into his back. Oh shit. Roger tries to bite the homeowner and break free. Her hand remains firmly clamped over his mouth. He can taste the tang of her blood with an unexpected acidity. The homeowner gently lowers Roger to the floor. Roger tries to get up, but grows weaker as blood pumps through his heart and out his back. The homeowner keeps him pinned to the floor and presses down to strain his breathing. Roger grows tired and slips away into a calm and reassuring dark. The homeowner's analog grabs the grocery bags and carries them inside. So there was 2 of them. So when they took the car, the original one just slipped out or hid somewhere that we didn't know about, seeing as when we got out on the other ending, it was still in. I don't know what's going on here. It sets the bags on the floor and steals a glance at Roger. We have plenty to eat tonight. There may even be enough to store in the freezer. We'll need to dress and quarter it to see how much there is. I close the door. I won't tolerate a draft. The homeowner's analog grabs the door and throws it shut. The goings-on of the house safeguarded from the eyes of prying neighbours by a door and some drapes. End credits. Okay, end credits again. Yeah, not a very satisfying ending right there. Okay. So I think that was all the endings from as if we went into the house. So we've just got to let her have the house from now on. That seems weird, but okay. Keep the house. I'll take the car and head down to the station. Oh, fair enough. Okay, that makes sense. Which car is that? The one I pulled up in. I didn't notice. The only one sitting in the driveway. But sir, that's my car. Why in the hell? And there's the analog, I guess. Roger turns just in time to see the car he calls his own, reversing into the street. He sees the homeowner wave at him from the driver's seat and disappears down the road. Yeah, so the homeowner's still there, because that's... Wait, what? Here, let me help you with that. Yeah. Roger tries to run after his car, but the homeowner grabs hold of his shirt. She slips it off with one deft swoop. Roger spins around, trying to grab hold of his button down. Feels goosebumps forming on his arms as his nipples harden. What the fuck? What am I even doing right now? Give me my shirt back. No need for these either. The homeowner grabs the hem of Roger's pants and yanks backwards, knocking Roger flat on his back. The homeowner quickly slides off his pants and the remaining articles of his person. Roger lies dazed with his head pounding from the collision on the porch. You can hear the sound of rustling fabric and crinkling plastic bags. Roger wraps his arms around his head and groans. Please, not my chicken. What's with the chicken? The homeowner gathers Roger's things, glides into the house, and slams the door shut. Roger pulls himself to his feet. He cups his genitals in his hands and tries to keep warm. He shakes from the cold. Okay, let's just save here. So we've got a lot of options here. Start from the top, I guess. Break down the door. Roger is a strong man, but not strong enough to break a door down with his bare feet. So instead, he takes a swing at the door's window. He feels something warm and slippery pour down his arm as he fumbles with the deadbolt. So, we're already going to lose a lot of blood here. He manages to get a grip on the lock and slides it open. Roger opens the door and shuffles inside. He hears heavy footsteps from the floor above. The steps indicate the homeowner is heading for the stairs. Shit. Had she found his shotgun? Roger only had a moment to act. Wait. Save. Arm ourselves. Roger darts to the knife block in the kitchen, a mere 15 feet away. He yanks out the butcher's knife and wheels around heading for the stairs. A yellow flash and flecks of cinder. Whoa, what the fuck? Roger lies dead, practically eviscerated from his own shotgun. The homeowner calls police to report the incident. What is left of the body is labelled as John Doe. It is cremated by the town according to protocol. The local paper released a story about the incident, labelling Roger an unidentified drifter and a homeowner as a neighbourhood hero. Some locals caught the story and recognised Roger from the area. A correction was printed, but it portrayed Roger as an unstable addict. To account for his state of undress and violent behaviour, local officers used Roger as a cautionary tale at school assemblies to display the dangers associated with drug abuse. The homeowner was heralded throughout the state as an example of someone who defended themselves while police were nowhere in sight. She was paid handsomely to act as the keynote speaker for a variety of clubs and events over the next few years. Wait, so if people knew who we were, wouldn't they say actually that was his house? Why is she still being heralded as a saviour? As someone who defended herself? How does that make any sense? credits. Okay. Yeah, that makes no sense. Right, where were we? This one. Hide and ambush. Roger wasn't sure he could make it to the kitchen and back before the homeowner reached him. He pressed himself against the corner wall at the bottom of the staircase, hoping to remain out of sight. The homeowner's heavy footfall makes it easy to follow her movements. Roger sees the barrel of the shotgun slide through the entryway. He grabs hold of it and rushes around the corner. The homeowner falls back on the stairs. What the fuck is this music? What is happening? Is this a fever dream? Roger yanks the gun away from her with his good hand. The homeowner stares at Roger and tries to sit up. Roger brings the butt of the shotgun down on her face. Presses down, grinding and twisting it into her. A smile peeks out at him from around the gun's stock. She reaches for the trigger. Roger pulls the guns away and brings it down on her face. He does it again, and again, and again, relentlessly fragmenting and distorting her features into a puddle. Yeah, I think you've done enough there. He was satisfied when he could no longer see her eyes. I mean, I can still see one. Just saying. The police arrived shortly after. An neighbour called 20 minutes earlier due to the sound of breaking glass. Roger's defence team could not adequately explain the circumstances leading to viciously beating an unarmed woman to death in his home. A woman police were never able to identify. Due to excessive facial and dental trauma, missing fingerprints and a lack of documentation, the jury found Roger Cormack guilty of first-degree homicide. The prosecution convinced jurors that Roger had kidnapped the woman and killed her when she attempted to escape his home. Roger now inhabits a cell on death row, awaiting lethal injection. Are we going to have a good ending at any point? I mean, none of these seem good. Like, all of these seem bad so far. Right, okay. Can I delete any of these? I really want to delete some of these because I'm getting confused. I've done all... So I've done that part. I've done all that. I've done all that. Now I'm on for wait her out. Roger was not one to bully others, or be bullied himself. He stood resolutely on his porch, like any respectful citizen would. He spent the first few hours hollering and pounding on his own front door. As it grew late and cold, Roger began to lose feeling in his extremities. His pounding became limp and inconsistent, and his hollers turned into hoarse whispers. He became warm and a bit drowsy. Roger reasoned it was best to get some rest and resume his valiant opposition in the morning. Morning did not come for Roger. He sat on the porch, curled up, and nestled his head against the front door. It was the comfiest and sleepiest Roger had ever been. The homeowner discovered Roger at dawn and called the police. The cause of death was determined to be hypothermia. He was tagged as a John Doe and placed in a morgue to await cremation. Roger's final moments were warm, and he was not afraid. That one's kind of a sad one, actually. But again, why would he have been labelled as a John Doe? Like, we just froze to death. There wouldn't be, you know, they said about the woman with no facial or dental reconstruction or fingerprints, but that was all there for him. That was a quick one. Okay, we're getting through this pretty quick. Seek shelter. With no immediate means of retaking his house, Roger thinks it's best to find somewhere to rest. He takes off into the woods in search of shelter from the elements. Roger finds a grove just before dark. At its centre stands an immense hollow tree. Man, this music is weird. Roger crawls inside and huddles against his back for warmth. It protects him from the biting wind outside. As he settles into the comfortable position, his breathing slows and he drifts off to sleep. He wakes next morning to terrible hunger pangs. He crawls out of the tree and into a dewy forest floor. He scrounges around looking for food. Happens upon a large growth of mushrooms. Well, we know what we're going to do here. Eat the mushrooms, why not? Roger consumes the mushrooms with a desperate ferocity. They have a bitter taste, but Roger's hunger allows him to chew through it. As his belly fills with the mushrooms, he starts to feel ill. His head begins to spin. His manner of thought shifts and becomes fluid. Roger sees the world around him as a part of him, or he as a part of it. A very small part. A mote. A motte? The Harmon was right. In part. Personal property is a construct. But habitation is not means of ownership. He did not own the immense tree anymore after sleeping in it. Then he did before knowing of it. The motte merely landed on the tree. In the morning it came upon some mushrooms and... What am I looking at here? Began thinking of the world before itself. It surrounded itself in the soil. To the cool down, to the network. Forsaking hunger. Forsaking words. Words like Roger. I'm returning home. So have I just kind of like... Am I decomposing? I think that's what's happening. Maybe I'm decomposing there. I don't really know. Right, okay, let's do the small thing and not eat the mushrooms. That was definitely a trip. Oh, okay, so this is like a slower version of it. So when we eat the mushrooms, we... Yeah. Okay. So, don't eat the mushrooms. Roger wasn't sure if the mushrooms are poisonous or not. He didn't want to risk dying for a single breakfast. He let them be. But the fact remained, he was hungry. He set out for the edge of the forest at a brisk pace, skulking through the tree line parallel to the roadway. He hid his nakedness. As far as things, he ducks the alleyway and hides behind garbage cans. He smells something on the breeze, makes him salivate, and clench his fists with an aggravated longing. Bright red. Something catches Roger's eye. A fire station. They might be able to help. Wait, can I? Yeah, I do want to roll right. Okay, that's a lot easier. I can keep track of it. Go to the fire station. Reason compels Roger to stop at the fire station and seek assistance. He knocks on the front door. The man who answers seems unfazed by Roger's lack of dress. Sir, is it possible the station has some clothing you could lend me? Or some food to spare? Got plenty of both. Come on in. Roger is given a black t-shirt with a monogram of the defunct company on it, accompanied by some ill-fitting pants. He relaxes knowing he will not be charged with indecent exposure. Terry is in charge of lunch for the station today. He's got a pot of chili going. Might not be appetizing first thing in the morning, but it's what we got. I would appreciate some. Thank you. The fireman nods and hurries back with a bowl of chili and a cold beer. Roger isn't normally one for beer, but it is dark and filling. So if you don't mind me asking, what's keeping you on the streets with your pecker hanging out? I went out for groceries yesterday. While I was out, someone broke into my house and changed the locks. I couldn't get back in, and she'd spent the night in the woods. But what was your pecker out? You like shopping naked? No. The woman had an accomplice who broke into my car whilst I was trying to get into the house. I tried to stop her from taking the car, but the woman in the house jumped me from behind when I did. I took a bad blow to the head, she shook me on the porch, and her pal took off with my car. The fireman scratched his beard. Why didn't you go to the police? It was freezing out and getting dark fast. I didn't know how to find a station, and she took my phone, so I just holed up for the night. Glad you made it. Awfully cold last night. Kind of makes it slow season. I'm just glad I stumbled on this place. The facade really stands out. You got any kind of documentation to prove you own the house? Of course. I have the deed in the safety deposit box, but I need my ID to get it. And that bitch took my pants. With my wallet sitting there. You think she's still in the house? Or took her in the car with a pal? She had no intention of leaving. I can tell you that. That settles it then. Let's get the blues on the horn and get this sorted for you. The fireman numbers to the phone on the far wall. The wave of relief rushes over Roger, knowing a civil servant is assisting him. Still, the fireman's reaction to Roger's story troubles him. He doesn't want the fireman thinking he was a crazy old man. Worse still, what Roger worries he is a crazy old man. He just doesn't know it yet. Part of him hopes the woman is still in his house, to prove to himself that what he remembers happening really happened. And what happens if it isn't true? When police arrive at Roger's residence, they find the homeowner barricaded inside the upstairs bedroom. Okay, it is true. That's fine. Raving that the house is hers. She's been there her whole life. It's her childhood home. She demands police get a warrant to search the premises, but she's unable to provide personal ID to proof of residence. Bearing no legal claims to the property, she cannot refuse them entry. They were unable to locate Roger's wallet, believing the homeowner had destroyed it. Roger's social security card and birth certificate are recovered from the premises. Okay, so some evidence. It's good looking that we're not just entirely crazy, which he uses to acquire the deed from his safety deposit box. With the proper paperwork secured and presented to the authorities, Roger is permitted to entry to his home. The homeowner is taken into police custody. Roger spent the next several years checking on the homeowner as she was transferred between a variety of state mental institutions. He eventually lost track of her in the system. He nearly forgot about her altogether until his car was recovered. It was unearthed at a site in Nevada where BlackRock was breaking ground in the construction of a new housing complex. Roger put the car out of his mind. He didn't allow himself to worry about the homeowner. He kept his shotgun at his bedside and slept easy. Okay, so we got a good ending. That's nice. That's nice to see. But we do still have some more to go. How much more? I don't actually know. I don't know how much I've done. Right, we are... Follow the scent of food. Roger's hunger takes hold of him. It demands satisfaction. So he followed the scent in the air. He finds his way to a nearby Ultra store. The welcomer at the door barely notices him, distracted by a handheld gaming device. Roger wanders the vacant halls of the store until he finds men's clothing. He grabs a simple outfit, a pair of socks and some sneakers, then heads straight to the ready-made meals by the self-checkout. Piping hot pizza for breakfast. Roger grabs one of the boxes and takes a seat on the floor in front of the display. He uses the box as a plate and chows down on the warm treat. A bit sleepy, but satisfied, Roger takes a moment to think. With some warm clothes and a full stomach, the answer strikes him almost immediately. Roger shuffles out of the store, leaving discarded pizza boxes and tags in his wake. Like a madman. He is crazy. He makes his way to the ATM outside the store's entrance. Roger reads the display and looks down. Insert arm into automation orifice. Orifice? That doesn't sound good. He sees the ATM's orifice. Why do they keep on saying orifice? That's such a weird word to say. He slides his arm inside. It is cold. Pulsating. Roger looks up at the display. Enter pin. His fingers grope around inside the orifice for the keypad. Wait, what's happening here? Why is it all got very sci-fi all of a sudden? With like a... Is it like his arm is the card or something? Roger feels the raised shape of the numbers on the keys. He pokes his pin into the pad. The ATM produces his funds. Roger pays for the clothes and pizza while checking out some additional supplies. Roger had never committed a criminal act. He was distressed to discover how easy it was. At his own house in broad daylight. No one paid attention to him as he hooked a hose up to the gas tank outside of the house. No one batted an eye when he broke the kitchen window, or ran the gas tank hose through it. Not even when he threw the lit zip hole inside. The neighbourhood only took notice when they heard the result. The fire department was the first to arrive on the scene. Roger was impressed by their response time. Thankfully, their investigative abilities left them much to be desired. They declared the fire a natural accident caused by a gas leak. Roger was able to claim the full amount of his insurance policy and use the money to buy a home close to his grandchildren. Wait, so he has family? That makes things even more strange, because wouldn't he just say, I have family to contact? I'm so confused. Right. We have caught up on everything. We are just on find help. I think it's just find help now, isn't it? We've done seek shelter. Yeah. Driven by the belief that cannot resolve the house theft on his own, Roger runs out off to find help. Running down the road, he spots a police cruiser on patrol. Roger begins wildly flailing his arms and calling out for the vehicle to stop. The cruiser comes to a halt, and an officer steps out from the passenger side. Roger spins towards him, shouting, attempting to explain his situation. The officer enters a defensive stance and draws his weapon on Roger. Roger freezes in place, thrusting his hands into the air. Don't move. Hands. Let me see those hands. They're up. I'm cooperating. Suspect is uncooperative. I'm cooperating. What am I suspect of? Turn around. I said turn around right now. Roger complies. Walk backwards towards me. Roger walks backwards towards the officer. Not so fast. Roger stops. In a lethal game of red light, green light. Did I say stop? Roger does not speak, and he does not move. He does not want to alarm the officer. Come on, hurry up. Roger very slowly walks backwards towards the officer. I said slowly, not slow motion. Pick up the pace. Roger does not hasten his pace. He's terrified of doing something that would be seen as threatening. That's it. The sound of the officer's thudding footsteps draws near to Roger. Roger hears cuffs being readied behind him. He feels cold metal press against his wrists. The officer thrusts Roger against the hood of his car. Roger can feel the cuffs tightening further, cutting off circulation. Please, officer, I'm cooperating. The officer yanks Roger off the hood and steers him from with the chain of the cuffs. The metal digs into Roger's wrists as he fails to anticipate the officer's movements. The officer pushes Roger into the back seat and slams the door. The officer quickly climbs into the front seat and jumps on the radio with dispatch. Roger's naked body wriggles against the leather in the back seat as he attempts to sit up. The officer brings his fist down on the car's dash. Keep it down back there. A few tears stream down Roger's face in the dark. The tears make him feel ashamed, but he cannot surpass how angry and helpless he feels. Please, someone's broken into my house. Look, we're passing it right now. Just pull over. The old someone stole my house routine. Save for the judge, junkie. I'm not a junkie. I'm a senior citizen and I need help. You don't see many LD junkies, huh? What are you talking about? The officers sit in total silence as they cruise towards the station. Roger sits back and tries not to exacerbate the situation further. So you're telling us that you went out shopping and returned home to find your locks were changed? That's right. When I started pounding on the door and some strange woman answered. Strange how? What do you mean? She stole my house. Right. But what in that made her strange to you? What? How calm she was about it all. Acting like I was a perfect stranger, and she belonged there. The officers glanced at one another. So you found your locks changed and a strangely calm and comfortable woman at the door? Yes, but she was in my car as well. So she left your house? No, she was in the house. I turned around and saw her driving in my car at the same time. Oh, Roger, you're not helping yourself here. A pair of twins, maybe? They were her. In the car and the house, all at once. So what happened to your clothes? She took them. Right there on the porch, when I turned to see the car taken off, she slipped my shirt off. Without you even asking? The officers snicker as they share a look. Man, this is the worst. This is the worst one so far. Like, this is actually generally the worst one. Because I'm like, this is so horrible for Roger. It's not funny. I was assaulted. Yeah, that's like there. This feels really awkward. Sir, if a woman came up to me with a smile and asked for my clothes, I wouldn't report her. She knocked me down and ripped off my pants. Alright, sir. How much have you had to drink this evening? Not a drop. So you're telling me you tried to get into someone else's house in a confused state, thought you saw two of the same person and wandered the streets naked, but you haven't had anything to drink? I mean, when they put it like that, it does seem strange. It does seem plausible that something's going on, but that's not what I said. That isn't how it happened. You've already given your statement. All I need to know is how much you were drinking. Okay, let's put that there. Confess to drunkenness. Roger hangs his head in his hands. You're right, officer. I had a few too many tonight. I don't know what I'm saying. It's alright, old timer. Just be glad it's not dementia. I'm very grateful. Well, you can spend the night in the drunk tank, and we'll release you in the morning. Thank you, officers. Roger spent the last few hours of the evening resting in his cell bench. It was rigid and uncomfortable, but Roger had learned to deal with discomfort in the service. True to his word, the officer released Roger first thing in the morning. Roger received a pair of sweatpants from the lost and found to replace his jumpsuit. He had no phone or wallet. He had no idea what direction his house was in. He'd never been downtown and didn't know how to find his way out. He focused on finding shelter and food. He spent each day meeting his fundamental needs. Most passersby refused to look at him. The rest were too frightened by his appearance to speak with him. Everyone kept a safe distance from him. He faded into the crowd, entirely out of memory. Man, that's the worst one. Like, that's the worst one out of them. Okay. Insidious. I think this is our last branching path now, I think. I was not drinking. It's true what I said. Every word of it. Put a note that the subject is not cooperating, and we haven't been able to positively identify him. My name is Roger Cormack. I've already told you that. Sir, you'll be transferred to a news facility in the morning. You can explain the situation to them. What kind of facility? The kind that has resources necessary to help someone like you. Oh dear God. Roger spent the remainder of his life being shuttled between state mental institutes. None were able to properly identify what ailed him. Without a diagnosis and treatment plan in place, they were unable to release him. He raved about a woman who stole his house and his car. The staff learned to tune out his ravings as they did with all the other patients, content to consider his ramblings those of a madman. On specific nonsense that can hear press their ear in any patient's cell door. Okay. Was that all the endings? 1 second. think that, yeah, that was all 10 endings. So, that was This Is Not Your House. Yeah, it had some moments. I mean, at the very beginning, with the whole rotisserie chicken thing, it had some kind of humour to it. The more you went into it, especially that last branch with the police and everything, that was just so depressing. Like, it's a very horrifying, realistic concept that could happen, because people can just take things of yours. And the whole concept of, especially, again, the end branch of, well, even a couple of them having no evidence of who you are. Like, they're trying to go into your own house and defend your property, and then you getting killed and being accused of the one causing the things. I mean, out of the whole 10 endings, I think there was one that was good. The one where you go to the fire department or the fire station. That's the only good one I saw. The rest weren't good. Yeah, it was very depressing. But I really liked it. I liked the art style. I liked the creepiness. I liked the change of music in it all. It was all very surreal, but very enjoyable. And I hope you enjoyed it as well. If you did, want to consider subscribing. It would mean the world to me, and it really does help out a lot. But that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.